No, it's not like that.
So you don't think nothing could go wrong if inflation continues like this?
Mike, no, that's not what I said.
Could this be the result of a tumor?
No, it's not a tumor. Mike, listen.
So my conversation with Arnold was rather comical. He was a cool guy. So you know I'm a code monkey, right?
Yes, I know you're a code monkey, Mike.
Okay.
Nobody's doubting that. But I'm the greatest bodybuilding champion of all time. That means I know about the economy. Just kidding. No, but really, those gains and losses in the gym helped me prepare for the real world.
Arnold was very knowledgeable about the topic, even though we had a lot of fun. But do you know what's inflating faster than the economy these days?
Is it my muscles?
I was going to say eggs. So welcome to the year 2023, where the world is on the brink of an economic revolution. There's inflation, a force that could tip us over the edge, and unfortunately we know not how it will go or how it will be. Will it be a slow, steady rise, like a flower bud blossoming in the spring as it casts off winter? Or will it be a rapid and chaotic spike, like when I decided to add a shot of espresso to a can of Red Bull? Twice.
I've seen you before.
Will our wallets feel the burn, or will it be left unscathed? Will it hit us like a freight train, or will it sneak up on us like a thief in the night who demands 5 to 10% more than last time?
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Let's find out together as we delve into the mysteries of inflation in 2023. Inflation is like a game of musical chairs, but with money and fewer broken bones. As the number of dollars in circulation increases, each dollar becomes worth a little less. And that, in effect, means the price of goods and services go up. It's a never-ending cycle and it affects everyone. But the million-dollar question is, what will happen in 2023? Let's start by understanding the main drivers of inflation. One of the main drivers is the labor market. When unemployment is low and the labor market is tight, employers have to compete for workers by raising wages, which leads to higher prices. But with the world still recovering from the pandemic, it's hard to say how the labor market will fare in 2023 and how that will impact inflation. As economies grow, businesses tend to raise their prices as consumers have money to spend. But once again, it's difficult to predict how this will play out in the coming year, seeing as the global economy is still in a state of uncertainty. Kind of like me. You know, I've been watching House of Dragon and I still haven't seen any tips about getting my daughter's dragon into our house. What? Interest rates also play a critical role in inflation. Central banks use interest rates to control inflation by raising rates to slow down the economy or lowering them to stimulate it. However, the world's economy is still in a fragile state. So right now, it's anyone's guess how central banks will react in 2023. It's also worth noting inflation can differ widely between countries. Developed countries tend to have lower and more stable inflation, while developing countries tend to have more volatile inflation. Sort of like Mel Gibson in the early 2000s. So what can we expect from inflation in 2023? One thing we do know is that the labor market will play a big role in determining inflation. When unemployment is low and workers are in high demand, wages tend to rise, which can drive up prices for goods and services. This is because businesses have to pay more to attract and retain workers. And these higher labor costs often pass on to consumers in the form of higher prices. However, the relationship between the labor market and inflation isn't always straightforward. The world is still recovering from the pandemic, and unemployment numbers are not yet back to pre-pandemic levels. As a result, no one can precisely tell how this will impact inflation in 2023. Economic recoveries after a recession or a pandemic have been historically unpredictable, like surprise birthday parties, but a lot less fun.
Knock, knock.
There are typically various factors like government policies and consumer behavior that could affect inflation.
Hey, Mike, I'd like to have a discussion with you about stagflation. Can we get together in person?
In person? Yeah, well, sure. As long as you don't show me your muscles, I'd be down with that.
Well, I won't make any promises about that.
Another factor to consider is the impact of supply chain disruptions caused by the pandemic. It's led to shortages of goods and services and have put upward pressure on prices. And you know, it also makes it really hard to find delicacies like steamed tiger's balls and... Oh, wait. Did I just say that on camera?
And these are steamed meatballs, right?
No, they're tiger's balls.
This is especially true for goods that are difficult to produce quickly and transport efficiently, such as semiconductors and shipping containers. So I flew out to somewhere in Northern California to meet Arnold, where he wanted to discuss inflation in detail, but more specifically, stagflation, which has to do with many economic factors, not just inflation. Too complex for a phone call. It was a place called Alturas, a small town area A bit colder than I thought. Almost reminded me of upstate New York. But the address I was given seemed to be in an industrial type location, in many ways abandoned. I walked up to a warehouse door and I found a sign.
Come on in, Code Monkey Mike. I have a nice studio set up for us. Get to the chopper! Just kidding. It's down the stairs. I'm looking forward to it.
Signed, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I went in and I went down the stairs. It was quite dark. I looked for light switches along the way. The wind turned on, they didn't give too much illumination of the area. Then when I got downstairs, I heard something.
Hello, Code Monkey Mike. You have been brought here because you believe that you know about inflation. I want to play a game. The rules are simple. You have to stay alive.
What? Get me out of here! Somebody help me! Get me out of here! Get me out of here! See my next video about stagflation versus recession to see how this played out. If it's not on an end screen card here, that means I haven't released it yet, so be sure to subscribe so you won't miss it.